Hi Stampers, welcome. It's Lisa with Queen Bee Creations, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, here to do a live class with you as we create this adorable Z-fold pop-up card. And it's using a new stamp set out of our January to April mini catalog that went live today. So if you have been all excited waiting to order out of this catalog, or maybe even sign up and get that glass mat, today's the day you can do that. So congratulations, everyone. We made it through Christmas. We're here at the new year and celebration has begun. So I'm very excited and hoping you are too. And I thank you for being here with me, and I can't wait to show you today's card. So let's move down onto the desk. Like I said, we're using the Be Mine, our Be My Valentine bundle that comes with this punch. And we're going to play around with the punch as well as the designer series paper. It's got this adorable designer series paper with all these great patterns on it with these adorable bees. Also some big on the use as you can see into mine, and I've been playing with it a lot. If you're wanting to get designer series paper but ordering it all might be a bit much, then you want to get in on my paper share, and you don't have much time to do that because I need to place that order very, very soon. So if you want to get a sampling of all of the designer series papers, or maybe even swatch books that you can use as you create, then you want to get those ordered off of my website like ASAP, because I need to get that ordered. Okay. We're using some Daffodil Delight cardstock. I'm stamping on the glass mat, which I'm very excited about. This is something that is available to new demos, that they can get this glass mat for free. I've put a piece of vellum paper over it just to catch all of the glares that were coming from all of my lights. I normally don't work with the vellum paper on there because it's easier to use without the vellum, but like I said, I wanted you guys to be able to see without all that glare. We're creating a Z-fold pop-up card. And to do that Z-fold, we're going to do a very familiar fold in that we're going to score this. This is 4 1/4 by 11. We're going to come in and score this at 2 3/4. And then again at 5 1/2. So obviously the 5 1/2 is folding the whole thing in half. And then we're going to fold the front in half. So that's going to come back this way. We've done lots of cards this way, but this time we're going to add an extra little piece that's going to go across the bottom. So I'm going to take another piece of Daffodil Delight and I'm going to cut this to 1 inch. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to, well, let's go ahead and put the designer series paper on it. There we go. I'm going to put this on first and then we'll score it. This will make it match up better. There we go. Now, normally when I do belly bands and stuff, we don't adhere the whole thing because of the way it's going to bend, but I'm going to try to score these together because once it pops open, we don't want a gap there because this is going to open and close rather than just stay closed like a belly band does. I don't want to have a gap. So I'm going to put adhesive all the way across, and then I'm going to score them both together. I'm using liquid glue so I can give it some wiggle room. Oop, and I glued it a little too far. Yikes. This is the cleaning mat that comes with the Glass Mat Studio. that is great for cleaning your hands and your work surface, all of that good stuff. Obviously, my 12 by 12 paper is longer than my 11, so we're cutting an inch off of there. And then we're going to score this the same way at 2 3/4. And then 5 1/2. So has anybody placed their order already out of the new catalog? I know I've gotten a few notifications this morning of people who have placed their orders, and I've had a couple people call me and tell me they're going to be signing up on my team. So that's exciting as well, because they just can't wait to get their hands on this awesome glass mat. And I can't blame them because it's pretty awesome. Okay, so I want to fold this to where the long piece is on top. Whereas the base, we have it scored with the long piece on the bottom. And so it's going to glue onto there after I add a few layers. And so that's what's going to give us our Z fold. But we're going to add some layers, as I said. So I'm going to take a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of Designer Series paper, which is a standard layer. But then I'm going to add a little something extra to it. I'm adding a little layer underneath that is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And that's just halfway in between the two. And remember, there's that little guide that you can download from my store that tells you where all those 1/8 inch marks are, if you need that help with your trimmer. But I just look at my trimmer and know that one layer is going to be 4 inches and one is 4 1/4. So I want my middle layer to be just halfway between those two lines at 4 1/8. But there is that guide if you need it. And it's free. Just remember to print it in full size. Don't let it shrink to fit the paper, because then it'll change the sizes. And I coated mine with packing tape first, rather than just putting the cardstock directly on there, so that it would stay clean and I could wipe it off. Oh, thank you. I guess somebody's having trouble with the prize patrol. I know sometimes spell check will get in there and try to fix it for us. But entering hashtag prize patrol is how they get entered into the drawing to win today's card and have that mailed to you. And did you all see that I am in a, I don't know what you'd want to call it, a catalog launch with a bunch of other demos? It's a catalog launch party, and each of us took like a different stamp set or a different bundle and made a card. And I used this same fold, but I used the hot air balloon bundle and made this one. So this is what was my video on that catalog launch. And this is the same bundle that I'm going to be using for my online retreat that is coming up this month. So if you want to make more adorable cards using that hot air balloon bundle, the price of admission includes the bundle. So, and if you've made the mistake and already ordered it, you can substitute a different one. But it's basically the cost of materials and shipping you get into this class, where you're going to learn to make and get the packages, like pre-cut pieces, to make 12 cards. So you definitely want to check that out. And you can find that over on my blog as well. Do you guys frequent my blog? Do you look at things over there? Let's see, online retreat. Here we go. There's lots of good information over there. And I hope you're taking advantage of that. Okay, now you'll see I have 2 layers of basic white that are going under here. So these 2 pieces fit in halfway in between. So because this was 2 3/4 by 4 1/4, this is 2 1/2 by 4. And so that in the middle is 4 1/8 by 2 5/8. So it's, again, just the halfway point between those 2. And we're going to do some stamping. And I think I'm going to start out with making these guys because I already have my stamps mounted on this block. And I know it looks a little funny, but the way I did this and why I did it this way is I took the punch and a piece of the backing from our designer series paper, and then I just punched. Then I took my stamps and I set them in the holes of there, and then I set my block down on top of it. And I used the block to pick up those pieces so that they're already pre-aligned where they need to go. This one seems a little bit off. I must have hit it somehow. But when I get these 2 lined up in there and that one lined up in there, then I know that all I have to do is stamp those 3 together. And then they're going to punch out all together. And you have to make a point of saying this side up. Because if you did it this way, then obviously when you go to align it, they're not going to line up right. So when you punch it, the side you're looking at, which is where your stamped images are going to be, I wrote this side up. Oh, happy birthday, Cynthia. Thank you for joining us on your birthday, or almost birthday. Are you taking advantage of all of the great Stampin' Up! Sales to celebrate your birthday and spoil yourself? I know I would. My birthday happens February 6th, and so it's still in celebration. So the last few years I've had kind of a online party for my birthday. Since I live in an area where none of my, not many of my friends are. We moved here like after I had my kids and all of that. And I don't know what it is. There's something about when you have younger kids and you're out and doing things and going to school and working an outside job, it's easier to make friends than when you're working from home in a brand new area. So all of my friends are here online. So that's why I had my party. I had my party where my friends are. Okay, I did 2 of them because I need 2 bees that are going to be suspended. So see how beautifully that lines up? Then what I'm going to need to do is stamp the center, the yellow part onto this. So there's another stamp and Daffodil Delight ink. And if you're doing this, you want to bring it closer to you and stamp straight down from the top so you can see better. That's where you're going to get your best alignment. And have you noticed how I'm stamping directly on the glass mat without using a little foam pad? I think that was the biggest shocker to me when I got the glass mat, is I didn't need to pad things anymore. I don't know what it is about the tempered glass, but it makes it so that all of my solid images come out very solid, even without the, what do I say? Without the foam pad. Catherine and I share the same birthday. How fun is that? How do you delete a message? Like on here? Like on YouTube? You don't need to. Because when I go back in and after a while, I delete the countdown. And when I delete the countdown, all of these messages go away. And so that's why I ask you guys to go in after the fact and comment on the video after I've posted it, because those are the comments that stay. My deleting the countdown so that people don't have to wait the 30 seconds when they're doing replay, it deletes all of our chat here, which normally doesn't matter because we're usually talking about things that, they don't see the comments, so they don't know what we're talking about. So not a big deal, but okay. So I'm just setting this on here and up one of the dots, trying to wad it because the glue dot's almost a little too big to put the antennae on. If there did happen to be some on the back here, like I have, you either want to pull that off or tap on it with the embossing buddy to take the sticky away, so that when you close your card, the antennae are no longer sticky on the back side. I'm going to need more of these glue dots before we're done. I have some. They're just over there on another table. I'll need to go grab them. Punched it a little something funny there. Yep, there we go, at the end. So when I unbox a new set of the glue dots, I always take a little ribbon and I tie it around it so that if it ever gets like knocked off the table onto the floor or rolls across my table, they don't all unravel and make everything all sticky. It just kind of holds it together just a little bit. I don't make it tight, just enough that, like I said, it's not going to unravel and go everywhere. Okay, so this is how we put the bee together when it's punched. The other thing you could do is you could do the wings in vellum. They would look great in vellum. And then you could have a Daffodil Delight body and then just stamp your black stripes onto it, and that would work great too. So this is not the only way you can do them. It's just one of the options. Okay, somewhere I have the little face. Here we go. So I'm going to make them smile. I like that one. I'm just checking back on a couple of the comments, make sure I didn't miss something. And if I did, please repeat. It's not going to offend any of us if you retype a question so that I have time to catch it. because I get just so busy making the card, I don't think about it. Okay, now the next thing I need to do is a little more stamping on our inside. So I have my 2 white panels, and I'm going to start out with kind of just placing the bee. Ooh, and I don't want him in that color. Anybody else do that besides me? I want the body in yellow. I'm going to need this in a minute, but not right now. I just used it. It's got to be here. Here we go. So look at that. How awesome is that? That I get a nice solid image without the padding. I'm just still impressed with that. Okay, no longer need yellow. Then the bee set comes with this little trail. So most times I will just set the stamp down on my table, let it relax and be the way it needs to be. And then I just set the block down to pick it up. Okay, now I'm going to need these pieces separately. There we go. Then I'm going to use the little trail off his backside. Okay, then we need his antennae and his wings and his face. See, it's kind of like a Build-A-Bee. And there are multiple different faces where he's winking and has his eyes open, has his eyes shut. He kind of looks a little mad. So you get to, like I said, build a bee the way you want it. It would also look great to add a little bit of Winkostella to his wings, because usually wings are a little kind of shiny. This is the very first day that this set is available to customers. So I know we've been playing with it for a while, but you couldn't order it until today. That's what's kind of fun about some of these builder sets, is that you can change it all up. When I was playing around with the hot air balloons, it was the same kind of idea. You could mix and match not only colors, but pieces, and just make it look completely different with just a few little changes. Okay, where am I at? I need to add, I was going to add a few little hearts. It does come with 2 different size hearts. There's this little set of 3, and then there's the single heart. And I was trying to kind of duplicate what's going on back there. And again in black. I gotta put this away. So I want Sweet Sorbet. That is the red that we are using today, because that's what matches our designer series paper. This pad is very juicy. Sometimes when they're a little too juicy, you may need to rub it with the back of a spoon, and that would press the ink back down into the pad and redistribute it, making it less juicy, which would also make it so it would not create those little bubbles that we sometimes get. There we go. It's one of the great features of these photopolymer stamps is if you don't get a great image, you can see through it and go back and fix your little mistakes. I'm not going to worry too much about down here because that's going to be covered up by our little strip. Okay, so this one's ready to adhere to the front. Then we have one more panel that we're going to do in there. So I'm going to take some little hearts. And then I had a sentiment of Be Mine. And then it also comes with little flowers that we can stamp along the bottom. And there are 2 different flowers, one that's open and one that's closed. And then there's also 2 different stems. So you can build your own flowers as well. So I'm going to come in with some Parakeet Party and do my stems because I wanted to stick with our bright color theme we have going here. And I'm going to mix and match our stems. Okay. As well as mix and match our flowers here. So we'll do one that's open and we'll do a couple that are closed. Okay, now we are ready to put our strip across the bottom. As I said, we're going to have this part touch the front of our card. Getting a little sticky. That's time for me to go back and clean my case. You have to make sure that these pieces of your case right in here are clean. They tend to gather like sticky stuff, and then it will grab at your tape as you're using it and make it do bad things. Okay, so I'm putting that one down. I want to make sure that it's going to fold flat so it will go in an envelope. So I'm just going to put my adhesive there, and then keeping this all closed. I come back here and line this up against the bottom because I want it all flush down here. And it should be flush to the edge here. Now, it's more important that it all lay flat and go into the envelope and flush against the bottom rather than this side. If for some reason it wants to hang over on the side, it's very easy to just come in with your snips and that up. You wouldn't want to make this flush and then buckle the middle of it. That would kind of defeat our purpose of putting it into an envelope. Okay, now down to all we have to do is attach our little bees, and we've already put them together. Now what I need to do is adhere them to little sticks of acetate, which I did have on my desk here. And they're clear, so they have a tendency to disappear. Come on. Oh, I put them away. Go figure. Things put away where they should be. That's like the last place we look, right? Okay, so I'm just going to pull out a few. And I just use various little sticks of, I think these were, I don't know, some kind of packaging to something I have here in the office that I cut up into strips. But I will also often use the plastic that our stamp sets come with. There's a thin acetate on the front that's great for shaker cards and things. And then there's a more sturdy piece on the back side. And this I would cut up into 1/4-inch strips to get these so that you can use them in your cards. Just another way to save money. You can buy regular acetate sheets out of our catalog, and sometimes that's necessary. But we don't want to fill up the landfills with acetate that we're just going to be throwing away, right? We're going to put it to good use. So I'm going to do one a little bit high. So that when I put him in here, he's going to be floating kind of low. We're going to put him over here. I'm going to try to make him higher. I don't have a really long stick, so we'll see how successful we are. And I usually put 2 glue dots at either end. It seems to make it more sturdy. I'm not really clear on why. It just keeps it from spinning side to side or rotating and looking a little off. And then when I do this one, it was especially important with the balloons, is I needed to be able to lay this on here and make sure that it was not taller than the card. So that when it closes, again, it's all going to fit inside the envelope. But that's our Z-fold pop-up card. So what do you think? Is this something you're going to give it a try? Has everyone had a chance to enter in hashtag prize patrol? That is how you get entered into the drawing and winning today's card. The prize is that I mail you today's card. You enter, like I said, hashtag prize patrol, to enter it. Just like it says there, all run together as one word, no spaces. And then the winner goes over to my blog, queenbeecreations.net. And then up in the address bar, you're going to add a /prize patrol at the end. And that's how you're going to claim your prize. It'll pop you over to a Google form, and that's where you do that. Because I obviously need an address somewhere we're going to mail it to, right? Okay, so let's go over here and give our wheel a spin. Let me share it here. So there we go. Helene is our winner. Congratulations, Helene. Helene is one of the lucky people that's going to be joining us for my hot air balloon online retreat. So more hot air balloons in her future. Congratulations, and thank you for everyone who joined us today. I will be back on Monday. As of next week, we are back to business as usual. No more taking Mondays off. And I will be available Monday at 2:30 and then again Thursday at 2:30. So come back and watch, and I will see you then. In the meantime, if you need any help either joining up as a demo or placing an order, feel free to contact me. That's what I'm here for. Thanks. Bye.